Greetings, everyone. I know I'm a one-man show right now, but that's okay. I'm going to just be here for you on Fridays and Saturdays at 10 o'clock. I'll probably, if I don't have anybody, I'll probably will shut the live down early. But I'll be here for you on Friday and Saturday at 10 p.m. up until December I think it's the 30th. And then I'll do PSA videos on Sunday. I'll drop those, and then I'll do a social skills video, a lesson on social skills on Tuesday, and I'll just drop that video. And these videos don't last that long, but it's just something to give you some information, you know, something to think about. And then this Saturday, I'm going to read one of my children's stories, and I'm going to video record that, and then I'll post that on Saturday for you parents, and then you can allow your children to hear it whenever you have free time or you feel like you want them to be able to hear it. Anyway, the whole point of this show is to build a community with like-minded people while promoting an alternative to social networking. I want it to be a place where we can all get together from all over the world and just talk and discuss the things, what's going on in your part of the world. And if you know any community services in your area, if you'd be willing to share that information for somebody else that might be in your area, they might be able to benefit from that. But basically, I'm not going to always have an agenda. I'm going to, because I don't really have anybody on live stream with me, what I'm going to do to fill up time is I'm just going to give you some basic information, that might help you a little bit. So that's how I'm going to fill up time. So let's see, what else do I need to say? That's pretty much, I think that's the basics. I mean, we're at the very beginning of this whole thing, and so I'm learning, and I'm just getting organized. But I'm promoting mental health, people's mental health, and I think communicating is very important because everybody doesn't have someone that they can talk to, and so I want this to be an opportunity for people to have a place where they'll be able to come on a Friday or Saturday and just, be able to talk to adults, I just want to keep the language clean, though, and I want us to be respectful of all cultures, because we'll have people, my nose is itching, sorry. We'll have people eventually from all over the world. And so I don't want anybody to feel offended. I don't want any culture to feel offended. So I want us to be real careful as to, what we say about other people's culture when we're inquiring, stuff like that. But anyway, I think what I'm just going to do then for tonight, I'm going to give you some tips to acknowledge your feelings. You need to allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with trauma. Okay. And a lot of people want to know, well, why would I want to, deal with those feelings? Okay. We're going to go over why. It's good to just go on ahead and try to face all of that. We're just going to go over some of the things. Acknowledging and allowing yourself to feel your emotions is a crucial step in the healing process. I'm going to give you some tips to help you acknowledge your feelings. Okay. Practice mindfulness. As corny as that sounds, take some time each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath, like breathing. And believe it or not, that does work. This can help you become more aware of your emotions and thoughts. It really does work. That's a simple little thing that you can do that can really help. Journaling. Write down your feelings and thoughts. This can help you process them again. This could help you process them and gain insight into your emotional state. I write a lot, Sometimes I just write, and I have to remember I need to go to sleep sometimes, but I get so caught up in thinking I have to document every little thing, and I don't, but I do that out of habit, you know. It works for me. And then I can go back and look at stuff that I've written, and it comes in handy. It really does. I keep notebooks with stuff in it, because I can go back and refer to what I was thinking, when I'm wanting to find out something. Seek therapy. Talking to a professional therapist can provide a safe space to explore your emotions and receive guidance on how to cope with them. Identify triggers. Pay attention to what situations, people, or places trigger intense emotions. Understanding your triggers can help you navigate them more effectively. So most of us, if you in an uproar all the time, then you need to really look at that, because that's not normal. Okay. And if everybody that you're around is always in this frenzied panic, that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. And you need to ask yourself why. And what's when you get all wound up like that, you need to find out what you go within, and try to find out what is it that's making you feel like that. Self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend in a similar situation. So if you're suffering and you're triggered and stuff like that, don't be so hard on yourself, because trauma, when you're dealing with trauma, it's not easy. Sometimes you're affected. Any little thing could just set you off and make you nervous. So don't make yourself feel bad about that. Just try to learn how to manage it until you get better. Artistic expression. Engage in creative activities like painting, drawing, or writing poetry. Art can be a powerful way to express and process emotions. Yeah, and that's true, you know. Physical activity. Regular exercise can help release pent up emotions and boost your mood through the release of endorphins. I think we all know that too. That's pretty much common knowledge. Limit negative influences. Surround yourself with supportive, positive people who validate your feelings and provide a safe space for you to express them. Really, really look for that. I mean, I know sometimes we're in situations where we don't see anything positive, but you're going to have to find, you're going to have to try to find positive aspects of whatever it is. It's not easy. Sometimes we're in situations that aren't positive, but when that happens, then you might want to try to find a way to get out. And I'm talking to adults, so nobody should have to be involved with a whole lot of drama every day. That's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to things or people that may be causing any additional stress or emotional distress. If you can, and you're around people that cause a lot of confusion and stuff like that, just try to start distancing yourself from those people, because that that can have an effect on your emotional state. And you don't want to be around stuff like that, because that can have an effect on you negatively. You don't want to be around negative people if you can keep from it. you know Practice self-care. Engage in activities that nurture your well-being, such as taking relaxing baths, meditating, or getting a massage. We all know what that, I don't need to explain that. Educate yourself. Learn about trauma and its effects on mental health. Understanding the science behind your feelings can be empowering. So, just kind of try to get more information on trauma related uh, symptoms and stuff like that, and what you can do to make yourself feel a little better. It's not easy. You have to. You're gonna have to. It's a mental state that you got to work through. You have to. It's not easy, but you can. You don't have to be miserable. If you just have to decide you're gonna be positive. That sounds crazy, but you have to work your way out of it. You can't don't allow yourself to be trapped with negativity. Just don't allow that, for yourself. Practice patience. Healing takes time. Be patient with yourself and allow the process to unfold naturally, but work on it though. Don't stay stuck, you know. Try to find something that's positive that you can focus on, that you like to do. Connect with nature. Spending time in nature can have a calming and grounding effect, helping you connect with your inner self. I ground all the time. I ground all the time. I ground in my yard because I know it's safe there, to walk around barefoot outside or whatever, or just connect. I go to the park, stuff like that. I walk, around and stuff like that. But when I really want to walk barefoot, I do that in my yard. Join support groups. Connecting with others who have experienced similar traumas can provide a sense of belonging and understanding. And if you have a community service agency or a social services agency in your city or area, or some churches in different parts of the world, they have social services agencies. You can go to them and ask them if they have any information on support groups in your area. Most places can connect you with something like that. Just remember, it's important to seek professional help if your emotions become overwhelming or if you're struggling to cope. Therapists and counselors are trained to provide the support and tools you need to navigate through difficult emotions. Okay. I want to go over practicing self compassion. I want to talk about that a little bit more. And as I mentioned, I'm only doing all this talking right now just to fill up time and give people information, until we get the chat built up. Once I get chat built up, I'm not going to be lecturing. We're just going to all be talking back and forth, just, whatever we want to talk about. So I'm only doing this studies right now only because just to fill up the time and to show you that I'm devoted to be here for you. Okay. That's the only reason right now. I will do like the lessons. I usually do when I'm studying my theology lessons in the morning, I started going ahead to record those just so that I can share it. But it's like a lesson, I consider it's my lesson. I'm just recording it and then sharing it with you. So I do that through the week also. So if anybody wants to tune into that, that's great. And if you have any comments to make, please do, because I want to always hear somebody else's perception on a topic. What they think, because they might come up with something I didn't think about, a perspective I didn't think about. So. But right now, I'm just going to I have plenty of material, that I can just kind of go over. And then whoever wants to log in and listen when the live is finished, that at least y'all will have something to kind of listen to. I'm going to kind of discuss how you can practice self compassion while you're dealing with trauma and treating yourself with kindness and understanding. I'm going to kind of go over that because that's something you would think you would automatically know, but I'm just going to go over it anyway. Maybe you'll hear something that you forgot. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding is a crucial aspect of practicing self compassion, especially when dealing with trauma. Here are some tips to help you to cultivate self compassion in the face of trauma. Acknowledge your feelings. Recognize and accept your emotions, even if they are painful or difficult. I mean, it is what it is. The emotions are hard to, that's something you have to work at trying to balance out, So don't be too hard on yourself. But just don't sit in that negativity. Don't just go stew in it. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness techniques to stay present and reduce the impact of distressing thoughts. You want to stay in the here and now. You can't go back and undo anything. You cannot. And the future is what is the future. We can plan for the future, but the future is in the future. Try to deal with the present. That's very important. Think about stuff in the present and then try to find positive things to think about, or to do if you can. Seek professional help. Reach out to therapists, counselors, or support groups that specialize in trauma. Even if you went to a hospital and asked if they could give you some information if you had a hard time finding social services programs in your area. They will probably be able to provide valuable guidance and support. Set realistic expectations. Understand that healing is a process and that it's okay to take things one step at a time. I mean, that's the best way to do it. When I'm talking about smiling, my smile challenge, I'm always suggesting that you smile this day anyway. Remember, one person at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time. That's the easiest way to think about it, because then it doesn't become overwhelming if you're thinking about whole crowds of people. Just think about dealing with one person at a time. Then it doesn't make it as enormous. Validate your experience. Remind yourself that your feelings and experiences are valid regardless of whether others understand or acknowledge them. You can't expect other people to understand what you're talking about. That you can't, because if they haven't gone through it, all they can do is listen to you. Maybe they can find some empathy, maybe, or sympathy, I don't know, either one, maybe. But if they don't know what you're feeling, they might not be able to really show you the type of emotion that you need, so don't be too hard on yourself for that, because they might not understand. Prioritize self-care. Engage in activities that promote physical, emotional, and mental well-being, such as exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature. I spend a lot of time in nature. I would spend more time in nature, but since I'm single, I just have to be careful, So I try to go to public places that are safe. I might go down in the city and do little stuff, but I go outside here in my yard and stuff like that. That feels like a park out there, So I just pretend I'm in a park, or I walk down the street or something like that to the park in the daytime, early part of the day. That's important. Even if you just go outside, walk to the store or something like that, even if you're in the city or whatever, just if you can, just walk to the store, or whatever. Establish boundaries. Learn to say no when necessary and protect your mental and emotional space from potentially triggering situations or people. If you're around, you got them people that every time you see them, or always got some hope law, and that stuff can rub off on you, and trigger you and make you nervous or whatever. So try to avoid those people if you can. I know it's not always easy, depending on how you have to associate with them, but just try to minimize the amount of contact that you have with them. And if you do have to interact with them, just maybe it might help if you don't like engage in a whole lot of conversation with them, just kind of get kind of quiet on them or whatever. Maybe they'll start getting it that they're triggering you because they're too, flighty, you know. Change comes from within. Gotta start with you first. Gotta start with yourself first. Practice gratitude. Focus on the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small they may seem. That's something that's very important. I do that. I may not cost much to do it. It doesn't matter. It's just that I show myself appreciation for the things that I feel are accomplishments, whatever those are. You know, I do. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, that I'm doing something, or that I have done something. Once when I give myself my own self praise, because you can't expect praise from anybody else because you may never get it. Maybe you will, or maybe you won't, but you can't expect it. But so treat yourself. Feel gratitude for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Journaling. Write down your thoughts and emotions. This can provide clarity and act as a therapeutic outlet. Like I told you before, I write a lot, and that helps me. I'm more of an industrial writer. I write for like content. Sometimes like an industrial writer would write. But I can, but I do write though. I still write. Engage in creative outlets like art, music, or other creative pursuits. Um, they can help you. They can be, powerful tools for self-expression and healing. So that's just, we've already, some of the stuff we went over, just a little bit of it. Connect with supportive people. Surround yourself with understanding, empathetic individuals who can provide a safe space for you to share your feelings. So that's one thing that could help a lot of people. Find you a group that who's dealing with the same kind of issue. And even if you if you don't have like a social services uh, uh, office or anything in your area, you might want to try connect with the hospital and ask them if they know anybody or if they can refer you to anybody in your agency or close to where you live. Challenge negative self-talk. Replace criticism with self-compassion. Treat yourself as you would a friend or in a similar situation. Just try to treat yourself with respect. When you make a mistake, just atone for it. Don't hammer yourself. If you made a mistake, you can't go back and undo it. Just try to atone for it and get past it as best you can, and not hammer yourself about it over and over again. Practice forgiveness. This includes forgiving yourself for any perceived shortcomings or mistakes you believe you made. I did that. I do that all the time. I do it, because I want to make sure that I have the right, if I'm thinking correctly. I want to treat people correctly. That means a lot to me. And right now it's very important because a lot of people are having a hard time. They're struggling. And they're just on the edge. And when people don't treat them correctly, it can create a big problem. And I notice that people's tempers are real short everywhere you go. They don't have any tolerance, very little. So, being able to navigate without getting into arguments is really important. Try to find that peaceful spirit, and just stay calm as you can. But forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. It starts with yourself. Everything starts with self. I mean, it really does. Be patient with yourself. Understand that healing takes time, and it's okay to experience setbacks along the way. That's it. Just happens. I went through a phase. I've been going through a phase this past year and a half. I don't. I'm just at the point where I'm not materialistic, so I don't care. I chose healing. And that means more to me than anything. But I'm very blessed. I feel very blessed that I'm able to navigate and function in this complicated world that we live. And that even though I have hardships and stuff like that, I don't have bitterness. I don't feel bitter about it, anything. I feel like I deserve justice for some of the things that I've gone through. And I'm going to get my justice. But I know I'm not bitter. Stuff happens, but when that happens, the best way to deal with it is try to deal with it logically and stay calm about it, because when you're going through it, that's what it is. It don't make it fun, but you have to try to figure out how to get out of it, when you're dealing with situations. So it's better to try to deal with situations as calmly and logically as you possibly can, so you can have the best outcome. Explore therapeutic techniques. Consider, well, I'm not going to go over these. So I'm just going to, let me just, I take that back. I want to just kind of end on, remembering that practicing self compassion is an ongoing journey, and it's important to be gentle with yourself and to celebrate the progress that you make, no matter how small it may seem. Okay. I'm just going to kind of talk to you for a little bit, and then I'm going to just go ahead and sign off, and we'll plan to be here again live next Friday. I'll be here on Fridays and Saturdays. I'll just smile. How about I'm gonna smile at y'all for about 3 minutes, okay? I'm not gonna, however long it takes to get. It's 10:27 now, so I'm gonna just take this opportunity. Let me just make me straighten myself up for everybody. This is just me at home. You're joining me at home, okay? So I'm gonna take the next couple of minutes and just smile at you, okay? And then I'm going to go off of live at 10:30. I'm going to be here for you, okay? On Friday and Saturday at 10 o'clock. I was going to stay hour, but there's no point, you know, if there's nobody in here. But, okay, I'm going to just smile at you for the last minute and a half. I hope that somebody can get something out of what I had to say this evening, even though it seems probably like, why does she even bother? Um, because I want to be here for people as a mentor in case they need to talk. Remember to smile this day anyway. One person at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time.